And we are live. You already know who it is. My name is Mike Kyle, aka the Fantasy Vulture. I have over a decade worth of fantasy football experience and have continuously competed for fantasy championships over the course of the past 6 seasons. Let's make it 7 in 2020. But enough of me. I'm here for you. On today's episode of the FB Show, we're going to continue our Week 3 game recaps, breaking down every single Week 3 matchups, all through the lens of fantasy football. So up next, we are talking maybe the game of the week between the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks. If you are excited for this game recap, be sure to hit that like button down below, like an open receiver downfield. Also smash that subscribe button like a power running back up the middle so you never miss a video from me. Last but not least, you can follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture, specifically Twitter, where I answer all of your start-sit questions, trade offers, waiver wire pickups, and everything in between for fantasy football. But let's dive right in between the Cowboys and the Seahawks, shall we? Let's go to the box score. The Seahawks defeated the Cowboys 38-31 to improve to 3-0 on the season, and the Cowboys dropped to 1-2 with this loss. Again, the whole premise behind this game was to start everybody, and everybody came through for you. Dak Prescott, 37 completions, 52 pass attempts, 472 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 turnovers. It didn't matter. Dak Prescott put up 27 fantasy points for you in this game. Zeke Elliott did his thing once again, the safest player in fantasy football. 14 carries, 34 yards, 12 targets, 6 receptions for 24 yards, and a score. And all of the Dallas wide receivers scored above 9 half-point PPR points. It was unbelievable. I'm just going to read you some of these stat lines, all right? Cedric Wilson, 5 receptions, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Michael Gallup, 6 receptions, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, 9 receptions for 86 yards. Ceedee Lamb, 5 receptions for 65 yards. And Dalton Schultz, 4 receptions for 48 yards. It was ridiculous for the Cowboys. And not only for the Cowboys, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks for a moment as well. Russell Wilson. Let Russ cook. It's here. It's over. We are in the kitchen. We are in the kitchen every single fucking Sunday. Wilson, 27 completions, 40 pass attempts, 315 yards, and not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 fucking touchdowns. Chris Carson, maybe the only person who had a disappointing game. 14 carries, 64 yards, 3 receptions, and 3 targets for 12 yards. Carson also left this game in the fourth quarter with a mild knee sprain. He might be back for next week. It was a bit of a brutal injury as the Seahawks were driving downfield. But Tyler Lockett, 13 targets, 9 receptions, 100 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Lockett was absolutely cooking in this game. DK Metcalf, maybe the blunder of the season. He let the ball go at the 1-yard line. He was just running with it willy-nilly before Tre'Quan Diggs, whatever, the Dallas safety cornerback, just knocked it loose and sent the ball through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So Metcalf, honestly, should have had 22 fantasy points instead of the 16 that he finished with. 8 targets, 4 receptions, 110 receiving yards, and that touchdown. He balled out for you as well. Russell Wilson has the most pass touchdowns of the first 3 games in NFL history. I love this. I love this for a number of reasons. One, I love shootouts like this because it's so fun for me to come on here during previews and just say start everybody, then hit stop record. Because like these games, it's just we just know how they're going to go, right? I feel like if you talk to anybody, I don't know what the over-under was, but I'm sure this was one of the highest over-unders, if not the highest over-under on the week. This game was going to be an absolute just gun show. It was going to be flamethrowers from both teams. It was going to be a shootout, and that's what we got, right? A final score of 38-31. Is there anything there's nothing to talk about for the Cowboys. You are literally starting everybody every single week. I understand starting Michael Gallup might not feel like a fun time. You're still starting him. Like Michael Gallup is the perfect flex play week in and week out because he's probably going to finish with 4 receptions for 45 yards at a minimum, which is fine. There are going to be weeks where that does kill you, but the upside like this, where he finishes the day with 130 receiving yards and a touchdown, like the explosive plays and the explosive games are going to be there for him. So I have nothing to add here for the Dallas Cowboys. You are playing everybody every single week, and that is going to be my advice moving forward, because this is a team where the situation is so cut and dry, where it's like Amari Cooper, yeah, you're playing him. Ceedee Lamb, yeah, you're gonna play him. Zeke, you're playing him. Dak, you're playing him. Cooper, yeah, you should. Gallup, you should play him. It's just go down the list. There's no reason for you not to play any of these players. But let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks for a little bit. Russell Wilson's here. Like, Russell Wilson is on a mission to not only show the Seahawks coaching staff that, hey, if you unleash me, we're going to win ball games. He's also on a mission to win MVP, right? Russell Wilson inexcusably has never received an MVP vote, which is utterly insane, right? He is on fire. He put up, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to make sure I got this right. He put up 36 fantasy points, right? So Russell Wilson to start the year so far, it's been 31 fantasy points, then 34, and then in this game, 36. That is a start that I don't know I've ever seen. I thought we saw something with Lamar Jackson last year. This is absolutely lighting that on fire. This blows that out of the water, right? Lamar came out week 1 last year versus the Dolphins and put up 35 fantasy points. Yeah, Russell Wilson just did that 3 times in 3 straight games. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff from him. The weapons that he has are just great for him. How hard is it to cover Lockett and DK Metcalf on the same play, right? You have to make sure that you stay on them like glue at all times, both of them. And you can't let Tyler Lockett try and slip behind you like you think he did twice in this game, just for deep touchdowns. Metcalf is just a monster human being and is going to be a top 5 fantasy wide receiver. Probably not this year. He'll probably end up being top 10. But Metcalf it projects to be along that top 5 path for the next, let's say, 5 to 7 years. Right? He's going to be so good, especially with Russ at quarterback. Greg Olsen had a great game. 5 receptions for 61 yards. Let Russ cook, right? Very similar to Dallas. You're starting your Seahawks every single week. You are like, there's no reason not to. The one thing that I want to bring up with the Seahawks, and that's Chris Carson. Because at the end of the day, somebody had to take the hit for let Russ cook, and that person is Chris Carson. The Seattle Seahawks, I think who was tweeting this? Was it Mike Clay or JJ Zacharyson? It was one of those two. Basically, the Seahawks lead the league now in passing plays on early downs. And that's terrifying for somebody who owns Chris Carson. Chris Carson's value over the course of the past few years have been the fact that this team is such a run-first offense, right? Carson is literally going to get the ball 20 times a game. He's going to be a workhorse running back. And now all of a sudden, those numbers are not going to be there. And I'm really trying to decipher if that's a good thing or not, because if that is the case, then this Seattle offense is going to add another dimension to it, which means that they're going to be able to move the ball and do different things on offense. So that means that's going to give them more opportunities to score, right? But volume really is just such a big thing at the running back position, and you're taking that away from one of the league's best running backs. So, for example, in Week 1 versus Atlanta, 6 carries. Week 2 versus New England, 17. And Week 3 versus Dallas, 14. And obviously, Carson got injured on that late drive for the Seahawks, and he probably would have had more. He probably would have finished the game with about 16 or 17 carries. And he's still being targeted in the receiving work as well. So that's still there for him. But I really do just wonder what this does to Chris Carson moving forward. I am scared. I am scared about Chris Carson. Because here's the other thing too, and this happened 3 times. I want to say definitely twice, maybe 3 times, where Seattle has the ball at the 1, and they're either running a play action or just Russ is just going to roll out and just slip out for a touchdown. Like, Carson isn't going to get the goal line work now because of their willingness to throw the ball now, and that fucking sucks. That absolutely sucks. Now Carson is still going to finish with great games because of the fact that he is a super talented running back. He's still going to get the opportunities, and he has already scored 3 touchdowns this season. But it is just one of those things where I'm like, Like, I'm just worried. I'm just worried that we're gonna have to that we are going to have to lower our expectations for Carson moving forward. Other than that, I'm still starting him every single week. I do think he is going to play this week against the Dolphins. It sounds like that knee sprain isn't too bad, and he should be good to go. Anything else? I don't think so. Again, start your Cowboys, start your Seattle Seahawks every single week. Just do it. You'll thank me later. All right, thank you so much for watching this game recap. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below. I'm trying to do this for every single week 3 matchup. You can find those on my channel. You can also follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture. Again, thank you so much for watching. Remember, people come and go, but fantasy championships are forever, and I will see you in the next video.